Hi, this is the Atari Collector again. As I stated in my last video, the video game for the Atari 7800 that I wanted to present next is Mario Brothers, and this is truly the original Mario Brothers, which preceded Super Mario Brothers on the NES. As usual, to get to know the story, I wanted to read the information on the back of the original game box and instruction manual. So the back of the box reads, Mario and Luigi battle the pests. It says, Mario the Carpenter and his brother Luigi are at it again. Now that's interesting because this is the first time that Luigi has ever appeared in a game as far as I know, and yet it says Mario and his brother Luigi are at it again. So I guess that must be referring to the earlier editions of this same game, since this game was released on the Atari 2600 as well as the Atari 5200, and this is now the third version of it for the Atari 7800. On the Atari system, so that must be why they're at it again, even though it's just a different version of the same game. It says, this time they must rid their house of crawling pests. Now that's interesting, because if I didn't read the instruction booklet, I never would have known that this game takes place in Mario and Luigi's house. Even there, as you look at the screen, it certainly doesn't look like a comfortable place to live in, but the game states that this is Mario and Luigi's house that they live in, and so these pipes are the pipes that evidently lead to their bathroom and whatnot. These bizarre creatures have names like Shell Creeper, Sidestepper, and Fighter Fly. So on the screen right now you see Shell Creeper, which is the turtle-like enemy, and these were retained in the later Mario games. They simply became Koopa Troopas. This seems to be like the earliest form of the Koopa Troopa. And then Sidestepper is the crabs that you'll see later on. They walk sideways, and you have to jump up and hit them twice to knock them over, whereas the Shell Creepers get knocked over in one hit. And then the Fighter Flies, again, they look like jumping flies, as you'll see later. Test your skills as you bump these pesky bugs off brick floors into the water below. But beware of Slip Ice, the Iceman. You must stop him before he covers the floors with a treacherous layer of slippery ice. So other than the fireballs and the three enemies mentioned, Shell Creeper, Sidestepper, and Fighter Fly, the last type of enemy that you see is Slip Ice, and later on he'll just essentially come in. If you jump up and hit him, he's destroyed instantly, as opposed to every other enemy where you have to jump up, knock them over, and then run up and touch them to kick them off. But if you don't hit him, then he does turn the floor into slippery ice, and then it's really hard to make stops. It's especially hard to stop moving one direction, turn around, and go the other direction. The back of the box finishes by saying, collect as many coins as you can. And it says, team up with a friend or brave it alone and help Mario and Luigi battle the crawling pests. I'll be battling it alone, but if you did have another player, you could play two-player, either co-op, help each other make it through the levels, or even just choose to tick each other off and fight each other and see who can get the higher score amongst yourselves. Now I'll go ahead and read the information that's found in the instruction manual. It says, Mario the Carpenter and his brother Luigi are hopping mad. And as I mentioned in the last video, it's interesting that at this early time in the Mario series, Mario and probably both his brother as well are considered carpenters rather than plumbers. But then, of course, that changes as soon as Super Mario Brothers comes along, where forever they will retain the occupation of plumber. The water pipes in their house are blocked with pesky crawling creatures. If the two brothers can't get rid of them, they'll never take a bath again. So the goal of this game is to clean your own house full of these pesky critters in the pipes so that you can take a bath without having to worry about getting nipped in the butt, I suppose. So that's the main premise of the game. It says, playing the game, your task is to help Mario kick the pipe pests off the floors and into a bucket of water. So at the very bottom of the stage, for whatever reason, is a whole layer of water that you're knocking things into. And the instruction manual calls it a bucket of water, which I find interesting. Press your controller button to make Mario jump up and punch the floor and the pest above him. Move the directional lever on your controller left or right to make Mario run into stunned pests to kick them. Press your controller button while Mario is running to make him jump from floor to floor. Mario starts the game with 3 lives. Each time he kicks a pest off a floor, you earn points. If an active pest or a fireball catches Mario, he loses a life. When all the pests are knocked off, the next phase begins. You earn an extra life at 20,000 points. So that's just like the other games in the series before this, Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., you get 1 extra life at 20,000 points, and then you'll never get an extra life ever again. Scores and the number of lives remaining appear at the top of the screen. The high score appears in the top center. The phase you're playing appears in the bottom left corner of the screen. A coin spurts out of a water pipe each time Mario kicks a pest off the floor. Make Mario run into the coin or punch it from below to earn 800 bonus points. The POW switch appears near the bottom center of the screen, and as you see there, it actually reads POW in this version of the game. I believe in the earlier versions of the game, especially for the Atari 2600, it didn't actually read that. When Mario hits the switch, it delivers a punch to all pests on the screen. You can use the POW switch 3 times before it disappears. You receive a new POW switch in rounds 8 and 13 and every 5th round after that. The game ends when Mario loses all his lives. Press reset or the fire button to begin a new game. And then it mentions the coin phase, which is a type of screen or level that you'll see in the game. It says, at certain times during the game, the pests disappear and a coin phase begins. The screen is filled with dangling coins. Mario has only a few seconds to grab as many coins as possible. Every coin Mario gets earns 800 bonus points. A timer at the top of the screen counts down the seconds, 20 seconds for each coin phase. Extra points are awarded if Mario gets all the coins before the time expires. And then it mentions the 2-player game, which again I won't be showing you today. In 2-player games, one player is Mario and the other player is Luigi. Luigi plays the game the same way Mario does. You can work as a team, with one player punching the pests and the other player kicking them off the floor. Or you can compete with each other for the highest score. If you do, watch out for sneak attacks. Your opponent may punch a pest back on its feet just as you're about to kick it off the floor. And then the instruction manual gives an outline of the various pests that you'll meet in the game. It says knocking a pest is a 2-part maneuver. First, punch the floor directly beneath a pest to flip it onto its back. Then jump up to the floor and kick the stunned pest off the floor before he recovers. And then it shows the turtle-looking creature, and it says, eliminate shell creepers by punching them once from below and then kicking them off the floor before they can get away. Then it shows the crab-like creature, and it says, at the first punch, sidesteppers become enraged and start moving faster. Punch them again to flip them over, then kick them off the floor. Then it shows the firefly, or some fly-looking creature, which is called the fighter fly. Fighter flies hop from one section of the floor to another. The only time Mario or Luigi can flip one over is when it's touching the floor. Then it shows the ice-looking guy. In higher levels, Slip Ice appears. He's a mean iceman who freezes floors into slippery ice. Punch him from below to keep him from chilling the floors. Fireballs can fry Mario and Luigi to a crisp. Avoid fireballs by jumping over them or by jumping to another level. Punch fireballs to destroy them. And then it gives you some plumbing tips. Use your POW switch when more than one pest is on the screen. Watch out for the last pest on the screen. It speeds up and is much harder to punch. Hit a sidestepper twice quickly. If you're fast, you can flip it over before it scurries off to a different floor. That is certainly a strategy that I use whenever I play the game. Punch pests near the edge of a floor so they fall onto the level that you are on. That's also a strategy that I try to incorporate. So that's the information concerning the story and everything that you see in the game, in the original box and instruction manual. And now I want to go ahead and play the game. So here's the part in the video where it's the actual gameplay. And hopefully I can at least make it to a high enough level where you can see all of the different enemies and stage types and items that the game has to offer. So I'll go ahead and restart the game. And there you can see the two different sprites in the game, the Mario and Luigi sprites. Luigi looks exactly like Mario, except that he's a green color. And of course, that was also very similar in the first Super Mario Brothers game that was released for the NES. This is the demonstration screen. And there it shows one of the coin phases. There's no enemies in the coin phase, you just try to collect bonus points. Just like in the Donkey Kong games, it says that there are 3 difficulty levels, Standard, Advanced, and Expert, but really it should be viewed more as like a level skip. If you choose Standard, you start on Phase 1. If you choose Advanced, you start on Phase 4. And if you choose Expert, you start on Phase 6. So again, if you skip levels, that's only going to hurt your overall score, and the main purpose of the game is to get a high score. Since the game, as far as I know, does not end, it continues on indefinitely, and your goal is to just get as high of a score as possible. So with that, let's get to the actual gameplay. In this stage, there's only the shell creepers to worry about. I didn't mean to knock that guy back up on his feet. I was too slow to touch that guy. That right there is the best strategy to get all the coins in one of the coin phases. Here's the side steppers, the crab-looking creatures. Basically, if a guy goes off the pipe at the lower right, you know he's going to come out at the top at the upper right. That seems to be consistent. And vice versa if he goes out the pipe at the bottom left. Let me see if I can destroy a fireball. Yeah, see, I killed it there. Phase 6, here's the fighter flies. Sounds like fireflies, but they're flies that are fighters. not sure why I was able to hit him when he was that close to the ledge up top, but not at the bottom. Looks like the hitbox detection is a lot more forgiving at the top than at the bottom ledges. There you saw that the ledges were covered in ice. That's what happens whenever slip ice stops and freezes a ledge. Here's slip ice. I'm going to destroy him before he freezes a ledge there. This time it looks like he's going to freeze a ledge. Some more side steppers. Fighter fly. Now we're starting to see all of the enemy types appearing in a single phase. There goes slip ice again. You'll notice that you don't have to kill slip ice to beat a level. He's just sort of there as a nuisance. Gets in your way, makes it more challenging for you. All of the other enemies you have to kill in order to progress to the next phase. Well, the fireballs also keep coming indefinitely. You don't have to kill them either. I'm not sure what hit me. Apparently a sidestepper was there. Ah! So there you got to see all of the enemy types. Again, the turtles were the shell creepers, the crabs were the sidesteppers, then you had the fighter flies, slip ice who freezes the floors, and then the green and red fireballs. And then you got to see the coin phases. And as I said, the game goes on and on indefinitely. Your goal is to see what phase you can reach and how high of a score you can get. And then it does offer the two-player option if you both want to compete for high scores and help each other, or if you want to fight each other and see who can get the higher score of the two. So that's the original Mario Brothers for the Atari 7800. That completes the Mario Brothers series that appears on the Atari 7800. And I'm not sure what game I'm going to do next for the Atari 7800 series, but it will definitely be an Atari 7800 game that I do next. So thanks for watching my video, and I will see you next time.